everybody, thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'll be taking a look at the book Mortals, written by Dermot Woods and drawn by Matt L. This is out by Radix Media Publishing. This is a really cool book. It's pretty much like a drama movie in a book. So you can imagine like a little 2-hour drama movie with adult themes and things like that. In a book form, and this is the kind of comics that I've been looking for more of, so really enjoyed this book. It was a pretty quick read, but I thought very potent in terms of the emotional content of it. So I don't want to go into the whole thing, but I want to give a overview of the premise and show a couple of things I like. First off, the art in it is really good. It reminds me of like Jessica Abel and Matt Madden, that kind of style, where it's like pretty functional cartooning, but still like really detailed and really rich environment, but nothing too flashy, crazy camera angles. So it has that kind of sense of a drama movie to it, a grounded seriousness. The story is a pretty tight little circle of characters. You could see this also maybe being a play. It's about Francis, this character here, and his wife's soon-to-be ex-wife, Claudette, and their son, whose friend just died in a sledding accident. He sledded in front of a car, and so that's impacting their family and leads them to get a divorce. And it's just kind of about how the character of Francis evolves and grows up a little bit over the course of the book. So Francis is, I don't know that I'd say a struggling actor. He's an actor, and he's just very, as a person, is not going to be he'll just quit things if he thinks there's anything goofy about them, and he'll find reasons to find things goofy. So like in this book, he's offered a role in a feature film, but the other lead character is like a pop star, and so he's like, oh, it's bullshit, I don't want to deal with it. So that's kind of the basic premise of what the story circles around, is the death of their son's friend leading to their divorce, and then Francis kind of having to grow up a little bit. He's this frozen man-child in the book. So there's a lot there emotionally that I think is really gripping and really well handled throughout the book. Again, you get these images like this that are really beautifully composed and beautifully drawn with nothing too flashy. I really like that. It fits the tone of the story. There's also some really interesting formalisms in terms of composition in this book. I really especially like this piece right here, because this is the point where they've had a big argument. They're realizing that she's saying, tomorrow we get the divorce. So they've obviously been talking about we should get a divorce, and this is the moment that they break apart. And I really like that these are 2 panels and these are 4 panels, but the division in the wall chops these into almost 4 panels anyway. So it's like putting up that barrier between them, whereas before this in the pages you don't have anything that's so stark. These characters are occupying the same space, so it's this really beautiful little visual chop. And then Matt L lines these up with this side of the division to kind of extra accentuate that even though this is 2 and 4, this is kind of like 4 and 4 as well. So it's that really kind of musical page composition that I really enjoy, and then the long note at the end. So I can see it musically, but also just the way it's composed adds to the emotional content. I think that's really great. There's also some moments where the slicker functional cartooning gives way to more expressive brushwork and more dry brush work, and then the art gets a little more ramped up and sexy for me. So I really enjoy the way that this is all captured. It all prints really well. The ink sits really nice on the paper, and it just really captures the effect of dry brush, and I think that adds quite a bit to the art. And then there's just some other things I enjoyed throughout the book, like here Francis is gonna go play tennis with one of his friends, and some kids in the park are playing music, and they've got a song by Kool Keith, so that's fun. I really enjoy Kool Keith, and seeing his stuff in the book is fun. And there's a little Wayne thing in the book, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You get some compositions like this which are much more showy and beautiful in terms of just the ink slinging, and then a lot of the more like just down to earth, like acting, functional cartooning throughout the book. But it's a pretty tight, terse little book. But it's a character study, and I think it evolves the character pretty well and puts a lot of emotional stakes on the table within a short amount of time, which is impressive to me because there's a lot of books I've read of this length, 100 and let's see, about 120 pages, 115 pages, where the artist isn't able to make me care because it's just not enough time to land all these emotional notes that they need to hit. And like both the artist and the writer of this book hit all the emotional notes that I need to have to care about these characters and care about the evolution and their motivations and stuff. So that's really inspirational and motivational to me too, because I've been worrying about, probably 100-ish pages books is about all I would ever be able to manage given my super slow schedule. And I've been worried that I wouldn't be able to make things as emotionally compelling as I want them. And this shows me that it can be done, not necessarily that I can do it, but that it can be done. So I think this is a really powerful book. Definitely recommend reading it. I'd never heard of Radix Media before, but this I'm definitely going to have to look into more of what they do because this is a really well-produced piece. So if you can find yourself a copy of this, I would definitely highly recommend it. It's a smart, well-written book. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the channel and want to help support us so you get more content like this, there's 2 ways to do that. The first is through our Patreon. We have 2 different tiers of engagement on there. The first tier comes just with early access to our videos. The second tier is exclusive access to an ongoing webcomic experiment we have that you can vote to help move the story along. Also, just exclusive previews of private artwork and private graphic novel stuff that Sean and I are working on. So we really appreciate any of that support. That helps us buy the books that we review, and so that just helps us turn money back into the community and keep exposing you to stuff like this that you may not see otherwise. So that's really, really appreciated. And then if you want to support Living the Line itself, the best thing to do is to support Living the Line Publishing. So we'll go ahead and take a look at one of the projects that Sean has out now. House on Fire by Matt Battaglia is a just gorgeous book where Matt's kind of making an emotional response to the years of COVID and wrapping that into a sci-fi dystopian future that really the sci-fi dystopian's backgrounded, and you're focused on the emotional journey of 2 characters in a really beautiful way. And then that's enhanced by Matt's like really awesome, loose, kind of Paul Popish dry brush work. And then Sean and Matt have worked to get this second kind of orange spot color in there that's going to look really, really beautiful, and has allowed Matt to use his dry brush technique to add tone to the thing too. So with Sean's production technique, this is going to be a gorgeous book with a lot of heart. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.